Y'all see that? The title is 100% accurate. I had to use 30% of my emergency fund recently. And I gotta put the money gotta go back. I gotta put it back. I'm gonna talk about it and tell you how. And yo, real quick, if it's 2022, I've been doing this channel for almost 2 years. If you watching this video right now and you don't have a starter emergency fund or an actual emergency fund or emergency fund you building and working up on, you are dead wrong. Everyone needs to have an emergency fund. It's not a should I thing. There's a lot of questions. The amount of the emergency fund we could debate and discuss. Where should I put it? We could debate and discuss, but everybody should have an emergency fund. Like 70% of Americans do not have enough money in their account to handle like a $500 emergency. So, hey, I don't care if you want to follow the Dave Ramsey 1K rule or if you want to do try to stack up $1,000 per person, but have something. You don't want to be out there hanging out to dry. Have something. Everybody need an emergency fund. Let's dive in and talk about the specifics of why I had to use mine. I'm Marcus. You're at the channel The Debt Free Dad, where we're following my family's financial freedom journey and we learning and chopping it up about finances. And by we, I mean us. I mean the community. I don't really have guests, but when the guests are on here, we talking about finances over here and motivation and all of that other good stuff because I want to see everybody eat. I want to see y'all accomplish y'all goals. Hey, disclaimer, licensed attorney, not your attorney, not legal advice, not financial advice. Just giving y'all my opinion on financial topics and takes and letting y'all know what's going on in the household of the debt-free dad. So now, your boy slumming. I did not do a budget breakdown last month, a closeout of how the budget played out. I know the last time I talked y'all about what was going on sometime last month, and I'm like 2 weeks too late, but last month we had to spend about 5K to get a car repaired. And so we were able to take care of that. You know why? Because it worked out. Because last month was one of those dope months that you just love, where you get like 3 paychecks. I'll make you do the cha-cha. Last month was one of them dope months where you get 3 paychecks. So it was sweet. We had this car expense we had to take care of. Hey, we had an extra paycheck to go ahead and take care of that, knock it out. Didn't have to use anything on the emergency fund. Didn't have to, worry about what debt we weren't going to pay off or focus on or readjust any bills. That's always a blessing. That's always dope when we can do that. Now, let's talk about this month. Fast forward, all right? Now, hey, y'all my people, y'all my family. I love y'all. I try to disclose and be transparent as possible. But hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Not every expense is always going to be transparent. Sometimes I gotta keep stuff closely held because it's family secrets, it's family business that's going on. Other times I'm gonna tune y'all in and let my extended YouTube family know what's going on. This one of those things where, hey, I'm not gonna talk about the details of the expense, but just know that the expense costs $6,000. So $6,000. Let's put that into perspective. Y'all know our emergency fund is $20,000. $20,000 is about 4 months of our necessary expenses. Now we do get and contribute $500 a month to another account because eventually we want to have like a full 6 months of all expenses, not bare bone expenses, just absolutely everything. So we won't have to miss the beat in the event of emergency. So we do have an account that we contribute $500 a month to that we don't touch. We started doing that last year and we got a little bit stashed aside, but we don't really count that as our emergency fund because that's kind of we're building up to our emergency, real big boy emergency fund. So with our emergency fund, it's $20,000. We got $20,000. Now we're not putting it in a money market account or a CD or any of that stuff. We put our emergency fund in a high yield savings account. We keep it simple. I don't try to get too fancy. For me, when you saving, you saving. If you saving for a car, save for a car. If you saving for a trip, save for a trip. If you saving for emergency fund, put it in a bank for emergency funds so you can get to the damn money. Like, I don't like to get fancy with my stuff. And it's funny, actually. My homeboy, Harlan D. White, who is like newly cemented into the debt free family. Y'all check out his channel, Harlan D. White. I'll put a link in the description box. He actually left a comment on my video because I talked about, man, thank God I didn't put the money I was saving up to pay my taxes in the investment account. And he said he knew a buddy of his who was trying to buy a car. He had a new car fund, and he invested his new car fund at like the peak of Bitcoin. And he was hoping to buy a new car, but he invested in the peak when it was like 60 or 50 something $1,000. And so he was like, quiet as kept, he didn't get a new car yet. And I kind of laugh because it's messed up for that guy. I'm not laughing at his situation. I'm laughing at the concept of sometimes we get too fancy. If you're saving, just save. If it's for something, just put it. Don't get too fancy because then that's how you get kicked in the nuts. So we got $20,000 our emergency fund, about 3-4 months of expenses. Had to use $6,000 on emergency. So now a couple of questions come into play. How are we going to pay it back? With what speed or how fast are we going to prioritize paying it back? Well, let me answer this question first. How I prioritize putting money back in my emergency fund, it depends on how much of my emergency fund I use. So my number to pay back my emergency fund and not rush, do it over a 3, 4, 5 month period is 20%. So let's say I had a $10,000 emergency fund. Oh, my emergency fund, it is what it is. It's $20,000. If I have to use 20% of my emergency fund, I'm going to pay that back gradually over time because 20% isn't, I'm not in that danger zone, so to speak. I feel like when you have 80% of your emergency fund, you're still comfortable enough to where you say, you know what, we don't got to break our back to pay this back. Let's just do it over a period of time, be consistent, and we'll pay that 20% back. Now, once it gets over 20%, my ultimate goal is I need to pay that back soon as possible. I need to pay back whatever I need to pay back as fast as I possibly can to get it back up because I already used more than the 20%. So I need to pay it back ASAP. So what we plan on doing this month, typically every month we spend about between $300 to $500, I wish, between $3,000 to $3,500 to put towards our student loan. So because we had to use 30%, $6,000 of our $6,000 out of our $20,000 emergency fund, what we're going to do is, hey, we're blessed that we don't have to make official payments and aren't accruing any interest on student loans. So this month, it looks like we're going to bypass making any progress on the student loans, and we're going to take all of that money and focus it directly on paying back the emergency fund, because I want to get that emergency fund back the way it is, because unfortunately, emergencies aren't timed. They always seem to knock on your door when you don't expect it. There's always something popping off. As soon as you think, like, as soon as you get comfortable and rush back and be like, man, I feel real good, man. My emergency fund is straight. I'm not burning up a lot of money doing stuff. That's when the emergency pop off. So we're going to prioritize putting that money back in our emergency fund. So this month, we're probably going to take a hard pass on putting anything towards our student loan debt and allocate all of our resources towards putting money back into our emergency fund, getting it back up to 20 bands. And so, we kind of did the math. We could possibly put back between $4,000 to $4,500 if we pinch a few categories, if we pinch the dining out budget, if we pinch our personal expense budget, if we pinch a little bit on the groceries. So the plan is to try to pinch and at least put back $4,000 this month back into that account. But we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to keep y'all posted and let y'all know how it goes. The bottom line of this video is, dog, if you don't got an emergency fund, get rid of Netflix, get rid of Hulu, take off the Louis Vuitton shirt, sell some of the Yeezys, do whatever you got to do to get you a nice little cushion, get you a nice little emergency fund, even if it's one band, even if you only got a $1,000. That $1,000, it give you some peace of mind. If your starter go bad, if you got to pay a deductible for an accident, you got it right there. So y'all make sure, hey, get the damn emergency fund. I know my people out there who watching, y'all probably got it, but if you watching and you don't, definitely get one. I'm out. Y'all take care. Peace.